Hi, I'm Greg Gutfeld, now with 50% more legroom. Here's what's coming up. Donald Trump, immigration. Is it a flip-flop or an evolution? Either way, I agree with him. I think. Who knows? Hillary runs from emails, then goes after white males. It's what she does when all else fails. I didn't know that was that funny. Anyway, what's the best movie in the last 16 years? You wouldn't believe it if we told you. Sadly, it doesn't star Steven Seagal. Let's get started, America. I have to bleach my problem areas. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's written 8 books. That's 2 more than I've read. Author of Up in the Air and columnist for Harper's Magazine, Walter Kirn. Yeah. She's so smart, Siri asks her for directions. Gillian Turner, former National Security Council, Fox News contributor. He uses Big Ben as a pocket watch. TNA wrestler Tyrus. She's where silver linings go to die. National Review reporter Katherine Timpf. And he's sharp and funny, like a scalpel that tickles. Actor, comedian Jeff Dye, now starring in NBC's Better Late Than Never. So, what is this alt-right thing that all the kids are talking about? Alt-right, is it a computer key that once you press will send your browser history to your grandmother? Is it a new antiperspirant for millennials, all natural and made with bug saliva? Is it a boy band who crafts ballads out of passages from books by Ann Coulter? Well, according to Hillary Clinton, it's a bigoted brigade that's embraced Trump. It's such a threat, she's devoted a speech to it Thursday.
Now, alt-right is short for alternative right. The Wall Street Journal describes it as a loose but organized movement, mostly online, that rejects mainstream conservatism, promotes nationalism, and views immigration and multiculturalism as threats to white identity. So the de facto merger between Breitbart and the Trump campaign represents a landmark achievement for this group, a fringe element that has effectively taken over the Republican Party.
Sounds great. Where do I sign up? I'm joking. It's awful. I doubt she actually knew what alt-right was until Thursday. The alt-right are just adolescent trolls who spout garbage for shock value. But because they favor Trump over Hillary, why not smear Donald by connection? Because after all, when the chips are down, screaming racism always works. I'd say it's the last refuge of a scoundrel, but it's also the first, second, and third. It's not part of the arsenal. It is the arsenal. Anyway, back to trolls, because they're so much fun. We all use them to smear the opposition that they belong to. I've done it myself, conflating Occupy Wall Street with the Democratic Party. In that case, I was right. But the alt-right trolls pee in my pool by polluting legitimate issues, whether it's immigration or terror. It sucks when an idiot agrees with you. My point, all parties have a fringe, especially the left. In fact, the left is all fringe. And whatever the alt-right is, it's basically online, fueled by barely employable wretches and stained boxers. The alt-left, though, they're more active. They block highways, shut down malls, scream at teachers, threaten reporters, chant about killing cops. The best part about the alt-right, you've never actually met one. They prefer the couch to the quad, the basement to the bridges. Bottom line, trolls exist in every party. At least the ones on the right, they're just really lazy. Period. All right. Walter, have you ever heard of the alt-right?
No, I never heard of the alt-right until a week ago when I read a Time magazine cover story on trolls, and the word was introduced into the language. And I think it was a conspiracy by the weird fusion, not between Breitbart and conservatives, between Time Warner and Hillary Clinton. Because then a week later, when she was giving her speech, there was a pre-registered Google search you could do, going back to the Time magazine article of a week before, that would lay out what it was. The weird thing about the alt-right is that usually when you put alt in something, you mean the cool version. like alt country, which is cooler than country. So I think there should be alt-right country, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Combine the two?
Yeah. I'm just an Okie from, you know, a white identity suburb.
Nice.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. Basically, what is alt-right is kind of like a heckler at a comedy club. That's the way I look at it.
I don't want to get mixed up in all this name calling and alt-right stuff. I don't know what the hell anything's happened since we started. I really didn't understand anything Hillary was being grumpy about.
Yeah.
And then what you just read there, I don't know what that means either.
Really?
You really want
I was troubling to follow. I don't know what the hell that.
Yeah.
What,
But I'd like
can
the
we talk
music
about the movie
analogy.
thing?
They sound like they should have a music festival.
Yes.
Right.
Don't they?
Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
That was the first thing I thought when I heard alt-right.
They're
But it's
conservatives who've been to Burning Man. I think that's what they are.
Well, you know what?
Yes, that's exactly
What
what they
Hillary
are.
did is she broke the cardinal rule. She fed the trolls, right?
InfoWars and Alex Jones are getting record numbers of hits
Exactly.
ever since her mentioning
But
it.
what,
You know.
what I don't get is why do people on the right call them the alt-right, which makes it seem like they're part of this, right?
Yeah.
It's not really a political party so much as it seems to be a personality disorder. And I think that we should call them something else, like basement dwellers who have never hugged another woman besides their roommate. And by their roommate, I mean their mom. Because they live in her basement still.
Tyrus, are we being too hard on something that we don't even know intimately?
I'm alt pissed because this is alt stupid. And as a professional wrestler, we call them marks.
Right.
And what a mark is they watch our match and then they go, why did he hit you with that? I would have done this differently. You're stupid. You're not that tough. I could totally kick your ass. And that's what they do. They troll. And then what we do, we're supposed to ignore. But every once in a while, I'll have a sensitive day and be like, yo, what's your address? Who you're talking to? That dude's like this. Yes, I got him. He's going to block me. He's going to block me. And then they bring out the tissues and weird stuff happens to their keyboards. So it's stupid.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I was Hillary, anything to do with alt, keyboard, computer, I would just stay away from it.
Right.
Yo, we're going to bring up the alt-right.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
I think they're guilty of political appropriation. Anything they attach themselves to makes it seem bad.
But where's the rest of the conservative, the far rights coming up and saying, like, well, how can you call us the alt-right? Then it implicates all of us. We don't all want to be involved in this. You should call us, like, the radical right or something like that.
Or like crazy lunatics with no friends.
Or they're probably just taking the high road because they're like, this is ridiculous, and we don't care.
Yeah.
So the alt-right is Klansmen who still live in their parents' basement.
Okay, listen, most Klansmen are in the field doing their stuff, building little crosses and stuff. They're not on their computers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they're in their own little world. And they protect their world. So they're not out spreading, like, on my way here, I didn't have to run through 6 Klansmen to get in the building.
Well, maybe it's like
And
the
they're not emailing,
Klansman social media team. Everyone's got a social media team now.
They're
They all
not
do it
that.
in anonymity too. That's why the trolls are so cocky, and they pick on big tough guys that could probably hurt them.
But the crazy thing is Hillary actually has a paid army of trolls.
Sure.
You know, what are they called? Correct the record or whatever? They're the people.
Media matters.
Yeah. When I go on Twitter and I mention Hillary Clinton, I don't even have to get to the next word. I'm inundated with hate.
I'm using that as a transition because I want to bring this up. Hillary has a mess of scandals going. The latest is great. Hillary apparently she deleted emails using a program called BleachBit, which sounds like something I bought at Walgreens. Remember when she said this?
Did you wipe the server?
What, like with a cloth or
I
something?
don't know. You know how it works digitally. Did you try to wipe the whole server?
I don't know how it works digitally at all.
Not so fast, Sally Smarty Pants. Turns out that cloth was a program that permanently deletes data. But does anybody really care? The fact is, Hillary's crimes are boring because it's email, and that helps her. There are no great visuals to accompany such a scandal. And the Republicans can't beat her at being boring as long as you have Donald Trump because he's interesting. So imagine this little experiment. If Mike Pence were the GOP candidate, the media would have to cover Hillary's scandals because he's so damn boring. In the boring Olympics, Pence would win in a landslide if only people knew who he was.
Mike Pence. Mike Pence. Yes, sir. I'm the governor of the state of Indiana. I'm running for vice president of the United States.
Go ahead, man. Vice president?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, boy.
I'm running with Donald Trump, so I'm his running mate.
All right, Jeff, I'm going to you again about politics. I'm very, very scared that you might not have anything to say.
No, I actually felt. I feel bad for the people that boring old guy came up and interrupted. You know, they're like, I don't know, we're just trying to cut some people's hair. Why are you here? What's going on? Jacob Pence, is it? Nice to meet you. I feel bad for them.
I think it's good to be boring at this point. What do you think, Gillian?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm doing a good job of it
I
now.
make a living off of it.
But the thing is, nobody really cares about these scandals. My theory is because there are no visuals. Like, TV producers would rather show two people arguing on the street out of 7 billion people rather than a scandal that might have national security implications.
Well, Anthony Weiner definitely got more play than the entire, you know. We don't know what you erased.
Yeah, that's true.
But yoga emails. It was just yoga emails, which are very embarrassing. That's why if I'm ever going to talk about yoga, I make sure to do it only on the phone so that there's no record about me having done so.
Or when you're planning weddings.
Right,
like
or your wedding, yeah.
I don't like that she played dumb about the wiping it with a cloth thing.
Yeah.
That's like a big problem, I think, with the old people is they always go like, ooh, whenever I have to email, I have to bring my son out to help me. I don't know how it works. Well, why would I want you running the country?
Yeah.
If you don't even know how emails work and like the internet and Twitter, I see it all the time. People go, I didn't even do Twitter. I don't even know how that works. It's 140 letters. How hard can it be?
Exactly.
You know how sentences work, dumb. Figure it out.
And besides wiping with a cloth, that's what her husband does.
Greg.
Right.
Right.
Not like that Kennedy boy.
It was just hanging there.
Straight-laced monopolist, wasn't he?
Right.
We just went. I was just about to commend him for his talk about Weiner, and then you just went there. But but the point is, he did something. What he did wasn't illegal.
Yeah.
But he had to give up his office because he was morally apprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
Hillary's done the same thing, but it's not sexual based, not yet, and I hope it's not. But sorry, and my face is telling the truth. But the point is, though, whether it was pay for play or whether it was talking to people, she used her office for personal
Pay
emails.
for play. That
Yeah.
sounds.
What if she was doing yoga
It's still
during
wrong.
Benghazi?
Yeah, there you go. That's a right-wing
sounds kinda
conspiracy.
sexual to
She's doing yoga during
And so
Benghazi.
Why
it's
you're
about
ashamed
yoga.
of telling anyone you do yoga? I don't.
I'm not.
What about
but
Kundalini?
I would be if I was doing it during Benghazi.
Okay, fair enough.
I figured it out.
You know what, though? You can't. When producers decide to do stories, they want to do the story, and then they realize it's boring. Yeah. And they try to find 8 different ways to make it interesting, but they can't.
I wonder if BleachBit has gone out of business, though, because the FBI has gotten all those emails that she BleachBitted.
Yeah, and also she bragged. The company bragged about it on their website. They basically an accessory to the crime. They said what did they say? We helped block the FBI. Yeah. That's on their website.
They made it the face of the business.
If I'm
like on
understanding
posters.
this correctly, BleachBit can clear your computer history and no one will ever know.
Except the FBI
Awesome.
can get everything.
Interesting. So and they're online. You can find them online.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's
BleachBit.
awful.
Is that like
It's
a
awful.
hashtag or at BleachBit?
You know what? I spilled a glass of wine on my laptop and I took it to Apple and it cost me $700 and it came back and everything was gone. And I'm wondering, I go, where is everything? And they go, we lost it all. And I go, wow. And I'm going, did they really lose it all? Or is it just went into some weird bank that whenever they want, they can just pull out, here's this art film you made in the 70s, Greg. Yeah. So actually more like the 90s.
You can get it on Netflix right now.
Yeah,
you didn't know about it?
That's true. I'm worried. All right, coming up, my cousin Steve. He's staying on the couch until the cops stop looking. But first, Trump takes a stand on immigration. Is it different from his other stand on immigration? We find out. What is Donald Trump's immigration policy right now? Hard to tell. He shifts more than Mario Andretti. Stop it. Anyway, the original position during the primary was all illegal aliens get deported. And for that, critics gave him more crap than they'd give Fred Sanford. So this week, he gave Sean Hannity a softer position on illegal aliens.
I've had very strong people come up to me, really great people come up to me, and they've said, Mr. Trump, I love you, But to take a person that's been here for 15 or 20 years and throw them and the family out, it's so tough, Mr. Trump. I mean, I have it all the time. It's a very, very hard thing.
So he goes more moderate. He makes his base unhappy, and critics call him a flip-flopper. He can't win. So then he tells Anderson Cooper from another network, not sure which one it is, this.
There is no path to legalization unless people leave the country. Well, when they come back in, if they come back in, then they can start paying taxes.
So they still have to leave the country.
There is no path to legalization unless they leave the country and come back.
As of this taping, that's where his position is. He may have changed it again. I hear he's thinking of deporting Anderson Cooper. Walter, I think you're a fan of Trump, aren't you?
Not really, but, you know, I can be for this show.
Okay, good. So, all right, let's start again. Walter, you're a fan of Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
Yes. Why should people be surprised that a negotiator changes his mind? Isn't that what negotiators do?
Absolutely. I mean, it's called the art of the deal, not the art of the intransigent hardline position. You know, he's like a car salesman. That Prius will cost you $70,000, and then you have to get him down to the actual price. So I think from wall, it's going to go to obstacle course.
Right.
You're going to have to jump over a fence, swing on a rope, and then crawl through muddy water to get to the United States. Except, wait, that's what you already have to do to get to the United States.
Well done.
That's where they got the idea for our American Ninja Warrior.
Exactly. They should
American Immigration Warrior.
Yeah. I think now you're coming onto a very unusual idea where that's how you win citizenship.
Yes.
It's a game show.
A fight to the death.
This sounds like a horrible movie.
Like a really bad Star Trek episode.
No, it's like The Running Man.
Yes.
The Richard Dawson movie.
Yeah, it's the Richard Dawson movie where he's like, yeah, it's a game show where, yeah, you know what? I'm going to stop there before it gets even worse. All right, Jeff. Politicians always change their minds, but he had such a harsh position, and now he's working backwards. Is that right?
Now he's changed it to Jeb Bush's position.
Yes, that's
on
what he did.
immigration,
Yes.
which didn't work for Jeb Bush.
Yeah.
Right. So now Donald Trump is so desperate, he's stealing bad ideas that didn't work. Yeah. That's like me stealing jokes from Jeb Bush. That's a bad idea. I don't know what's happening around here.
He is actually quite witty at times, unintentionally, I might add.
Yeah, but we're not electing anyone for wit.
Yeah. Although, aren't we?
We shouldn't. They don't write any of those speeches. Everyone's like so moved. Someone else wrote that, ding dong.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't see how this could really hurt Trump because more than 2/3 of people, they agree that there should be some kind of path to citizenship for some people. And then the really hardcore, like diehard Trump people, no matter what he says, they don't really think about it. They just go, hell yeah, no matter what it was, or how much it's changed, because they like him. And if you ever point out, like I pointed out on Twitter, like something about how like his views, whatever they are, people were like, whatever, Trump 2016, hell yeah, he said that, that's what he, yeah. And so it doesn't really matter what he says. He can change as much as he wants.
It's like that old Simpsons gag when he was like, abortions for everyone, and they're like, boo, and he's like, abortions for no one, boo, and then he's like, abortions for some and not for others, and they're like, yeah, it's just, you just say whatever.
That's exactly, because Katrina Pearson, his spokesperson, said, I think it was yesterday, she's like, Donald Trump has not changed his position on immigration. He's just been changing what he says.
The words.
Right.
He says it's words. But okay,
she knows his heart.
That's
called selling your soul for a few votes.
However, I'm inclined to agree, except for the fact that what we're witnessing is the death of ideology, which I am for. I like the fact that, like, maybe, it's not a litmus test anymore, Tyrus. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a defense.
Here's the thing, and if you listen to the video, when he said, at least many people came up to me. Those many people weren't in the audience because they were like, oh, hell no, boo, no, build a wall. And so I think after that was over, and he went in the back, goes, what'd you think? And the people in the crowd and stuff, and the emails and stuff, he was like, ooh, maybe not. And so the next is, don't worry, I'm on TV tomorrow, I'll fix it. Don't you guys worry about it. We're back on plan.
Right.
So pay no attention to what I said yesterday, because it's a new day. I think it's like the Wizard of Oz, just pulling stuff.
I think he wants to be liked, and when you want to be liked, the most important thing is strange new respect, winning over people that were skeptical of you before.
Exactly. And I think think that Trump, you know, I have it on good authority that Trump is the captive of whoever talked to him last. And he pretty much admitted it in that clip. You know, some people came up to him and, you know.
Some illegal aliens came up to him.
Very strong people.
You can't say he didn't change. He was talking about deportation forces, and well, you know, yeah, even if it's your kid and the kid's a citizen, if the parents are illegal, that kid's got to go. To being like, well, maybe you can stay. That's different. Sorry, that's just different. It's a little more reasonable, seeing as I don't want to turn this country into more of a police state than it already is. But it changed. It's ridiculous.
And I guess that the people who are coming here are no longer rapists or just coming here to offload their drugs. He changed his mind about that.
Yeah, he said that a long time ago, you know? Forget about that.
That was like months ago.
Yeah, that's how they treat it. Like, don't listen to that. That's old.
It's not flip-flopping, it's evolving, okay?
It's evolving.
Live with it, people. All right, coming up, something so exciting, I've forgotten what it is. But first, Julian Assange is threatening to release more stuff about Hillary. Should we cheer, jeer, or just drink beer? Wikileaks leader and my favorite Brett girl, Julian Assange, I miss his old hair, appeared on the Kelly File this week saying he plans to release hidden information on Hillary Clinton.
Do you believe the information in your possession could be a game changer in the U.S. election?
I think it's significant. You know, it depends on how it catches fire in the public and in the media, and what else is released during the election cycle.
Interesting. My question is he really concerned for the future of America, or is he just doing this for his own sick satisfaction? And since when do we have the right to look at other people's secret stuff? In other instances, we look at hacking as an atrocious violation of privacy. Remember Jennifer Lawrence's nude pictures? I sure don't, which is why I have to keep looking at them. So when is hacking okay? When it's someone you don't like Hillary? Ask yourself this: would you like people looking at your late-night drunk emails? Or those pictures you texted to Lou Dobbs last Thursday at 4 a.m.? Not for nothing, but it took me an hour to get into that unitard. So I took a vote, and half of you like Julian Assange, and the other half hate. So I don't know who to go first. Tell me why you like him.
Because he's like a less fit Ryan Lochte. Hair-wise, I mean. I like him because he does the job that reporters used to do. I mean, No! Yeah. No! My only problem with WikiLeaks is that they don't get leaks from the sort of accounts that I want them from. Like,
right.
Yeah, I want to know about James Franco's Tinder history. You know, and I want to hack into Warren Buffett's Ameritrade account.
Yes.
But the main thing about Assange is this: these aren't hacking jobs. People who want to release this information and happen to have it, give it to him. And that's very different than running a hacking operation.
I'm not so sure, though. Somebody steals it and then gives it to him. Jillian, rebut this.
He's like running a crime ring. I mean, the guy.
No,
is
that's
like
Hillary Clinton, as he's figuring out and sharing with people. Thank God.
He's like a low life. No, I mean he's getting information from these like people who envision themselves as kind of renegades, but they're a bunch of crackhead thugs. I mean, these are really people who...
People in politics and...
But all this information is already had by foreign intelligence agencies.
Right, and that's where the information belongs, not with the general public. I mean, if you want your government to to have a purpose to be able to protect your national security interest here, abroad, you want to have some semblance of respite from the crazy terrorist attacks that are unfolding all across the globe, they have to have some proprietary information. There is no way to do it.
But everybody not knowing about this stuff would hurt our national security, because Hillary clearly continues to behave in a way that puts her own convenience over national security, and she doesn't care because no one's holding her accountable. And now he's finally being somebody to hold her accountable in a way that nobody else is. It'd be more dangerous to have her think that there's nobody that's going to hold her.
But let's replace Hillary with somebody you like. Will you feel the same way?
Somebody I like or somebody's naked pics doesn't affect my national security and my civil liberties. So that's a huge difference.
Julian Assange didn't release Leslie Jones' naked photo. That's that big merge we've done.
No,
here.
what I'm saying is, I'm saying that some people, I mean, everybody felt that that's a violation when you go after somebody like Leslie Jones or Jennifer Lawrence, but we're okay with Hillary because we don't like Hillary.
Right. No, we're okay with it because it's much bigger information and like huge news. It's not conspiracy as much as evidence.
Right. So you don't mind if somebody hacks your emails? Let's say you become...
I'm an idiot, and on like television, like telling jokes. Yes, do whatever you want.
But in 30 years, when you're her age, you might be running for president.
Yeah, and hopefully if I did any crimes, people would call me on it.
No. All he's done is speed up the Freedom of Information Act.
He hasn't speeded up anything. He's held it up. If you got dirt, give the dirt. If she committed a crime, hey,
she committed a
FBI,
crime.
I have the sources. Here's the stuff. He's sitting on TV going, I have information, so we all listen to him. But what do you have, bruh?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because what? He's messing with the wrong place. He'll mess around in a duffel bag and end up in Sweden if he keeps messing with her. Sorry, Greg, but damn, if you got something, you use it. Don't sit on some show talking about, well, come October, you know, you're trying to get pay-per-view bites for the big, and it's going to be pictures of her doing yoga.
You know what his October surprise is? Turns out he's actually Tilda Swinton.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if girls go through their guys' cell phones all the time and they'll like catch them cheating, and then the guy will be like, well, that's an invasion of my privacy. They're like, that's not really the point anymore. Right?
Exactly.
If you found something, you go...
You just encourage a certain behavior that you should be against.
No, I don't care about it. Like, I really do. And I will say to hackers out there, I think you're very cool. And I hope that you don't go through my phone. But it is the truth. When something bigger comes out, you don't get to go, that's an invasion of my privacy. Now you got to deal with the bigger thing that they found.
Like, you've been sleeping with my sister. Oh my God. Well, you looked through my phone.
Right. Yeah. Lesser sin, looking through the phone. Exactly, yeah.
Aren't they the same? No. It's a violation.
Well, no, but we live in a world where we think just because nobody caught us that it's okay.
Yeah.
What you do in private is what you are as a human being. That's the real you. But you don't just get to mask it with stuff and go like, well, nobody caught me, so it's allowed.
Oh, I hate being convinced. Don't get convinced by this comic. You're wrong.
Every ex-girlfriend I've ever had has basically gone into my search history.
Yes.
And when they find hot babysitter threesomes, I'm grateful. Because it motivates me to hide harder. You know.
So, what a strange example.
I know, like, why will hire more than one babysitter?
At Bleach Kit? Okay.
Yes.
At BleachKit.com.
You're watching The Babysitter, right? Like,
yes, I hope so. No, it's a website where you sit on babies.
Okay, good.
It's weird. All right.
Sounds hot.
Coming up. McDonald's. Seriously, I had 4 Big Macs for lunch and feel gross. Speaking of, is McDonald's trying to kill children with evil devices disguised as toys? No, but that would be a great story.
If you'll be in the New York area and would like to be part of our studio audience, email Greg Tix at foxnews.com.
Do it anymore. I have a theory. McDonald's should stay in its lane. The Golden Arches had to recall 29 million fitness trackers that were given away in Happy Meals because the wristbands were reportedly irritating and even burning the kids' arms. Sorry, McDonald's, you got to give up the health kick. I don't know who keeps pushing you down the healthy alternatives road, but it's got to stop. Burgers and fries are your bread and butter. No one wants apple slices in the Happy Meal. The only apples should be in your hot apple pies that always burn the roof of your mouth. And give me a shake. I'll drink a bottle of McWater when I'm dead. You make Big Macs, you morons. Leave this exercise to the boring people. More important, don't you ever try to replace a Happy Meal toy with a fitness tracker again. That's a lousy substitute for a toy, even if it doesn't give the kid a rash. All right. Jeff, bad idea, good idea, McDonald's, pro, con?
I just think McDonald's is so, like, unaware of what health is. They thought that's how you burn calories.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's how it works. I don't know.
Yes.
No. Burn these kids' arms. That's still the healthiest thing on their menu. Those fit tracks, like, lumpy piece of hot plastic. Eat that. That's healthier for you than the garbage they're pumping down everyone's throats all over America.
McDonald's has saved more lives than any poverty program by offering affordable food. That is my theory. I have nothing to back it up. Why should I?
You don't
it's
have
my
to.
show.
That's right.
Thank you. Applaud. All right. Walter?
Yes.
Thoughts?
Well, first of all, I don't think fitness tracker was the way for McDonald's to enter the wearable computing field. I think I want egg McVirtual reality goggles.
Right.
And I want them to give me a fully immersive experience of what it's like to pass through the human digestive tract as a hot apple pie.
It's very fast.
It's very fast. But this is called playing both sides. This is like your drug dealer opening a rehab. You know, this is like Larry Flint selling chastity belts. They get the kids fat. Yeah. Then they get them to work it off. They get hungry. They go back, get fat. And I mean, it's the perfect thing.
I wish they got them to get the fat off.
The wristbands didn't even fit the kid's fat wrist. Like, what they did is they put a wrist that says, "Oh, I'm doing good. I gotta go to eat so I can walk back." Probably what happened was every time they drove by a McDonald's, so they didn't walk. Every time they drove by a McDonald's, it probably went off or stung them. Like, oh, I need to eat.
McDonald's isn't McDonald's.
That's what it is. No, mommy, not Burger King. I have to go to McDonald's and my hand won't stop. That's exactly what it is. Cheap technology with cheap food equals burn chubby kids' wrists. It's bad.
McDonald's stance should have been, those kids should have known those health trackers weren't healthy.
Yeah.
That had hurt them. It's from McDonald's. They should know better going to McDonald's. That's what we should use our brains.
You don't go to McDonald's for a health tracker.
It's just not a positive experience when you're at McDonald's no matter what happens. I feel like I've cried in one myself.
Really?
And then I went up to the counter and demanded a refund because my Happy Meal didn't make me happy. And they were like, leave. It's true. But I probably needed to go home at that point.
They were like, you're not under 11.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
I needed to go home, but that's a different story.
What ticked me off is that I go to Best Buy and I pay $110 for Fitbit. And then I find out McDonald's is giving them away for free in Happy Meal.
Sort of. Like they're giving away.
They were probably lying, though. They were probably like kids take like 3 steps and they're like, you just burned 1,000 calories. Time for another Big Mac.
They should be giving out GPS trackers that help you find a better restaurant. That's what it should be. You just go, oh, not here? All right. This is.
Jillian, have you ever eaten at McDonald's?
I have.
Yes. They're being too hard on this wonderful, amazing restaurant.
I don't understand why the children need a Fitbit.
Like guilty parents sleep better going, well, I fed him McDonald's today, but he does have a Fitbit on his wrist.
But like
That's what that is.
like 5-year-olds don't have diabetes generally, right? Or obesity, do they?
Yeah. You never know. I'm not a doctor, so I can't judge. Right. Although I've played one at certain clubs downtown. You know, I have to say McDonald's is an amazing place. The only problem is I love McDonald's. McDonald's doesn't love me, and I've said this before. It knows the carpool lane in my intestines. It's like it's like it's going out as it's coming in. I don't even know how it happens. I should probably stop there.
They should just sell McFlurries.
Yes.
Those are really
McFlurries
good.
are great.
Those are very delicious.
McFlurries.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, coming up, a really fun story about fun things and stuff. What's the best movie of this century? I would say the one I made in Mexico, but it's more like an art film. Yeah. What's your pick for this century's best flick? The BBC, whatever that is, asked film critics all over the world to name the greatest films of the 21st century. Anything from the year 2000 to now. That means no Godfathers, no Citizen Kanes, no Jaws 2, or even Jaws 3D. Some notables on the list include number 96, Finding Nemo. Never saw it. Number 67, The Hurt Locker. Loved it. 22, Lost in Translation. Ugh. But let's skip to the top 3. Number 3, There Will Be Blood. Lots of it. Number 2, In the Mood for Love. Ugh. And number 1, Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, one scene. But what's always more interesting is what didn't make the list. Love Actually.
Great movie.
The world agrees it's the worst film ever. It is truly the Red Hot Chili Peppers of movies.
I like both of those things.
Yes. Walter, Up in the Air, the movie that you wrote with George Clooney, was not on the list, and it had 6 Oscar nominations. You must be proud not to be included.
I am. Magic Mike XXL wasn't on there. Up in the Air wasn't on there. I'm in good company.
Yes.
But the main thing about this list was it's 2016. Is it really time to be doing best of the century lists?
Right.
That is like waking up on Monday morning and said, I just had the best bowel movement all week.
It's an interesting metaphor.
Yeah.
Or analogy.
Yeah.
Yes. I sense a trend in this show, Jeff. You were waiting for this segment the whole show.
No, I felt a lot of guilt because I was like, I like that movie and I like that movie, and I just knew that you guys put it up because they're not that good. But I think
Which ones?
well, I
I
liked.
love There Will Be Blood. An amazing film.
Yeah, good movie.
Yeah.
And then you guys talk about Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're pretty good.
I hate them.
You hate them?
I hate
But
them.
I thought you
like
gave
them. I'm
that
fine
up.
with them.
Gave what up?
I thought that you you reconciled with them.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I pretended to, and now I hate them even more. Shirtless aging millionaires. How did we get off this topic? We're talking about movies.
Sorry, yeah, movies. But there was like Dogville was on that list, which I haven't seen, but I love. Sounds cool, Dogville.
Yeah.
Spring
And
Break
then,
is on the list.
Yeah.
Oh, Wally.
Wally.
He told me Wally's on the list. I like that movie. I love
It is the worst
robots,
list
man.
of one-off movies.
Yeah.
Of all time. Number one, no one knows what that movie's about. Unless you're on YouTube, you saw the one scene.
Yes.
Apparently, 2 girls make out in a pool.
Yes.
Then the credits hit.
I'm
Best
back.
movie of
I'm
all
back
time.
in.
Okay, no one.
It's not in a pool, it's in a bedroom.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't.
In the bedroom, good movie.
Yeah.
That actually is a good movie.
Yes, it is. Todd Field, good director.
I don't like movies really.
Neither do I.
They're so long.
They really are.
The only thing I like about going to the movies is like the happiest I ever feel is when it's over and I can get on with my life.
All movies?
No, but you know what?
No, not like Happy Gilmore or Slappy and the Stinkers about 5 rapscallions who rescue a sea lion. 5 kids.
You sound like a gal that
5
loved
kids,
Dogville.
1 sea lion, no rules.
Sounds amazing.
Gillian, how did you feel about this list?
Kat just said rapscallion.
I did.
Nobody noticed. Thank you. Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Here's what I think.
Okay.
Has anyone else seen Sausage Party?
No.
Oh my God.
Good.
That's not on the list.
I know.
I just saw it last week. You have to.
I don't
see
want.
it. Oh my God, it's so funny. It's like the
Just
best.
knowing
movie
that Gillian Turner went and saw
I like
Sausage
that.
Party is frying the inside of my cranium.
No, I love it.
It's so
Did you
funny.
see it?
No, but I
It's
love
gonna
that
make
she saw
you
it.
love movies.
But you know what? I don't like. I stopped going to movies. I can't stand the idea of sitting in a room with strangers, being forced to watch something that you paid for when you can have the option of none of that because nobody has manners anymore. I'm always on the edge in a theater of something bad happening.
That's because there might be a mass shooting.
That's how this audience feels right now.
Okay, look, stop. Hell no, stop. I go to movies all the time by myself, have no problems.
Yeah, and you can get on your phone and no one's going to tell you to shut up.
Yeah. And I go, but this whole movie, this has been a comic book error.
Yeah.
Where's the Marvel stuff?
Yeah.
You know, those are the real great movies that everyone goes to see and stuff like that. This list is terrible.
He sits here and the whole row is empty.
I chill. I go to movies all the time. For a while, I was posting Lonely Guy at the movies, but whatever. But it's still something I enjoy to do. I like going by myself because no one talks to me. It's like, what's happening? I'm watching a movie. That's why you go to the movies. You enjoy it. It's fun for family and stuff too, but for me, I still enjoy the movies, and that list is horrible.
Last word, Jeff. Sounds like you need to get something off your chest.
No, I love movies as well. I go to movies. I'm a big fan of them. But I do want to just chime in and say, like, we can't identify with you. You know, you're a giant.
Well, I can't identify with you
She
either.
has to be afraid of going to a movie. She's like a lady, you know?
She's like a ninja in heels.
Look at her. Like, you're a giant.
Yeah,
People aren't going to mess with you. He's like, why is everyone scared, man? I go to movies. Like,
No,
yeah,
he
you
is.
go to movies.
He's giant shaming you.
Yeah, dude.
Greg, you ignorant slut.
I know. We're going to close things out with final thoughts from everyone. Don't go anywhere. We're out of time, almost. So,
what you've wanted to say all show, but haven't had the chance to say, so here's your chance to say it. Right now.
Walter?
Maisie, my daughter, who just started Harvard University 3 days ago, don't ever tell anyone you meet that your father was on the Greg Gutfeld Show on Fox News.
Yeah.
And you'll probably survive.
You know you're right.
I know I'm right.
Jillian?
I'm really torn about sharing this.
Okay.
But I'm going to.
What?
So I live in Washington, D.C. The Secretary of Homeland Security, I don't want to say his name, but it rhymes with Shmei Schmonson.
Yes.
He goes to my nail salon. I learned that this week.
That is the best final thought ever.
I can't believe I just said that.
I think that's going to end up somewhere.
But it's true.
Tyrus?
It's true. I have proof. If
All that's
anyone
in my
wants
head
to...
right now is some dude getting a petty and a mani and yelling at him for not getting the right color. So, that's where I'm at, Kat.
I know, go to Jeff. Kat's always last because I like it when she cries.
Thanks for having me. If anyone's mad at me, feel free to troll me at jeffdye.com or my website, redtube.com.
Do not go to RedTube. Kat?
Okay, I want to do a quick fact check because I always see people saying like everything's okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. But the end is where you die. So that's not true. So I rewrote it.
Okay.
Everything will be okay if it's not the end, because if it's not the end, at least you're not going to die yet. You can have this for your desk. I made it for you.
What a nice little class project for the troubled woman. All right. Thank you, Walter Kirn, Gillian Turner, Tyrus, Jeff Dye. Great first job. Time, Katherine. Our studio audience, I'm Greg Gutfeld. I love you, America.